Hello and welcome to episode 9 of our Timberborn 1.0 full release playthrough with the Folktales faction on the Down the Plug Hole map. Cycle 11, day 14, we have less than a day before the next bad tide comes in. And last episode, of course, we had our earth-shattering kaboom that annihilated this dam and, well, because we had prepared effectively, did absolutely nothing to our colony over here. And then, of course, I showed you the alternate reality of what it could have been like. But now, we're in the process of getting a couple of these sources bad tide proofed. We are very much not likely to finish this in time, which is regrettable. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, no matter what, having this finished during a bad tide will be better than not having it done at all. And we have this one already automated and this one already automated. But it turned... wow, there we go. Batting 1,000 today. It seems that I have overcomplicated this massively with the help of some good old-fashioned streamer blindness and blatant disregard of how all of this is supposed to actually work. This is a small enough area. Well, this isn't now because I made it big. But we really don't need to even bother with the contamination sensor on any of these things. We just need to tie it to a weather station. So let's hit pause, and let's get rid of this, get rid of this. That is not the thing I want to click on, thank you, game. Now, all we have to do is find Gary, who is somewhere. It's either this one's Gary, that's Gary the Gatekeeper, that activates it during a bad tide. This is what we want to automate to, is Gary the Gatekeeper. So, if we do that when Gary is on, then these floodgates are all the way up. When he's off, these are all the way down. Same kind of deal here. Because I've already blasted this, then that's the way it is. This is already on Gary the Gatekeeper. This is already on Gary the Gatekeeper. Because maybe I already did that last time, because I think we were going to see if these did either or, but At this point, I'm just done with it. We don't need to worry about it. It's going to be fine. So we know that's all good to go. This has been automated to Gary 2, which is... what is Gary 2 even doing? Is this Gary 2 over here? Yes. No, this activates early because it's got the dump there. Okay. Well, that's fine. That's exactly how I wanted this to be set up. I think we can just move on with our lives. That is an oak stump, not stump, dead tree thing we can get rid of. That's fine. So we do really need to make sure we can get all of this taken care of. I have that prioritized, and I have this not prioritized at all. This obviously is something that is going to be substantially more important than having the zipline station taken care of. Even though that is good, they can... Oh, that's actually the only station. This is, alright, well... It's fine. It's fine. We're not going to worry about it. So, they're going to continue working on that. Obviously, we still have to get to all of the rest of these, and that, of course, will take time. We adjusted this. I am pretty satisfied with how this is functioning. But, you know, the thing that happened here with the gate, another instance of me just attempting to use something I don't really understand, and in the process making it just unimaginably worse. So, this really doesn't need to be set to relays. This just needs to be set to a contamination sensor down here. And it's honestly extremely humiliating that I had not figured that out. So, I guess it is what it is. I'm just going to have this set here. When it goes up over the threshold at all, that's contamination sensor 5. We're going to call this gate contamination, if I can spell correctly. And then we're just going to automate this to... gate contamination. Now, I shouldn't have to use an inverter on this because the gate will close when it's automated. I just need to turn this to the other direction, which means that this will, I'm pretty sure, I always second guess myself with this, pretty sure that's what that's going to do. But we're not going to have enough flow through here anyway for this to flood. It's fine. We'll just deal with it. My brain shuts down whenever I try to think about that. But when we talk about the dam here, there's a lot of you that want to see the dam rebuilt. So I'll just assume that's what you guys want. I mean, if you don't want me to do it, then I guess let me know. But I think that is going to be a fun thing for us to try and attempt. And we also, of course, have this exit tunnel here that I guess is no longer really that big of a deal. But I do still want to increase the size of that. We have a 4-day bad tide now. So if we've done this correctly, then that is flowing that way. That's flowing that way. This is, of course, spewing filth because we have not finished. I really hope they're not about to... Okay, they can't reach over here. That's good. I was a little worried about that. I just need them to finish all this stuff. You know how that goes. So, that's probably not going to be done until maybe the end of the bad tide anyway, but it'll get us there eventually. We need to think about ways to take care of this. Now, this water seep cannot get through here. We could, if we wanted to increase the good water flow, take this blockage out. But I don't know that that's really going to be that important. See, this is fine. That's all good. The big challenge is going to be these 3 sources here. These are pretty far away. Fortunately, we do have this set up. This is not finished because, of course, they can't get to it. This is automatically closed when the thing's not done anyway, so that's fine. Not really concerned in the slightest. What we're going to want to do is get as much work done as possible on getting close to this area. But we don't have enough logs. We don't have enough planks. That's not really that big of an issue. I just haven't planted any more trees over here, so I was trying to use maple to make some food. And I said a long time ago, hey, we're going to do that next episode, and then we didn't do that. So, if we want to take advantage of the bakery, we probably should go ahead and do that. We have very full storages of all of these different types of flour. And, of course, the bakery uses both of those and also maple syrup. And I've got the herbalist paws. We probably don't need that, to be perfectly honest with you. But the tapper shack needs somewhere to put maple syrup, and we have the ability, should we choose to use it, of putting a giant maple syrup tank right here. That should be fine. I don't know that we're going to need to plant any more maple trees. We might at some point, but suffice to say this is probably okay. Now, bakeries do not require power. And this is close enough where I don't think it's going to be an issue to get, you know, around here. We're really not going to need to worry about it. But I figured, you know what might be kind of fun is to try and design a somewhat aesthetically pleasing bakery complex. And by somewhat aesthetically pleasing, I mean on a scale of 1 to 10. If 1 is the worst thing you've ever seen and 10 is something that belongs in an art museum, it's probably going to be about a 2 or 3, but much better than what I normally do. So knowing that we have our maple syrup right here, what if we took medium warehouses, just because, again, we're not going to need to have crazy huge storage for most of this stuff. If we just go right in this general area, because I can't just go straight here with these trees in the way. I'm going to want my 2... We can kind of, you know, put this back in the corner somewhere. Do one of these kind of numbers just up against there. And then what if we put, to line this up here, do one of those, flip that. Actually, that's going to be in the wrong spot if I were to do that. See, anytime I try to deviate from the norm, it just destroys my brain. I can't figure out how to do it. What about over here? That might actually not be that bad. If I were to do something like this. Maybe way off in the corner. That actually wouldn't be the worst thing I've ever made. Just to have this kind of set off to the side. Okay, this is not aesthetically pleasing anymore. So, that's... oh, this is garbage. Why don't you ever do builds like this? Well, that's why. My God, how am I so terrible at this? I have no idea what I was thinking. So, why don't we just say, you know what? I made some sort of honest effort and it did not work, so we're just going to go to the default plan, which is just stack it on top of something and be done with it. Now I could put this here. I could put this here flipped over so that on the back side of this we could utilize that. And then I know the access will be on the back here, but this should be okay, and we could end up connecting this through the other side if we really felt like it. But for right now, this is honestly probably about as good as we're going to get. We're also going to need to have somewhere to put all this stuff, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have this split. You can do one of these numbers. I know we have green space that maybe we should be growing stuff on, but honestly, I think it's fine. We're going to want... oh, there's actually 3 of these. So what if I did that? Now this looks ridiculous. Well, anyway, maple pastries, cattail crackers, and... oh yeah, bread. How could I forget about bread? That's embarrassing. Nope, that doesn't go there. Come on. Okay, so this will end up just going back down here. And the reason I'm going to keep this open underneath is that I suppose I had an idea that I forgot. So it is what it is, but we can turn that into some sort of a thoroughfare, not a throughfare. What in the world am I on? And then I can actually get this to go, maybe? Yeah, maybe I'll just put that in like that. That should be somewhat tolerable. You know, I told you I was going to make something that's interesting. I didn't say it was going to be good. There we go. Now it has some sort of mild visual interest, and then I can put some sort of well-being stuff in here. Maybe that would be not a bad idea. What if we put in some rooftop terraces we could theoretically get up on? Well, if that's going to be the case... what if I were to do that? And then I had this come in this other side here. Okay. Why is the game paused? Very good question. I don't know why, but it just helps me think. What if, instead of doing that, we had this brought in to here, reconnect that, and then this did some sort of a connecting there, but then past that, we had a way to get up to the top. See, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just, grasping at straws to try to justify sunk cost fallacy garbage, but I guess this would also work. Just putting this up here like that. And then I really wouldn't need to have this set up like this, would I? What was I trying to accomplish with this? Well, that going through here doesn't do us much good if that's attached like that. But this coming around... you know what? This is fine. It's fine. I'm not going to lose any more sleep over it. So then this doesn't actually have to be here. We just have them do a little bit of a circuitous path to go down and around. I guess that's alright, It's fine. What I will do here, just to make this a little bit more interesting, we also haven't unlocked these little 1x1s. Let's just do something like that. Why not, right? B for boom. Actually, K for kaboom, not B for boom. And then we want a large tank here for the maple syrup, which is there. Set that to supply. We're not really producing enough wood to justify building all of this. Oh, I didn't do my types of flour. I need cattail flour, and then I need wheat flour. Not that it really matters which one's which, because they're going to have to go out to get it anyway. You know what? Man, you know, normally I'd say, you know what, I'm just going to start over because this episode is a disaster, but I have committed not to do that. This one has wheat flour. That can be bread. This one had cattail flour, so this one can be cattail crackers. I don't have a spot in this ridiculous design to make maple pastries in. So what if... I know, it's like the... You ever heard the phrase, no good deed goes unpunished? Well, that's a pretty pessimistic and depressing way to go about life, but I think, in this scenario, that's kind of how I feel about this. An effort was made, and it was found to be insufficient and to some degree insulting. But still, we persist, because that's the way it goes. You can't give up. Make sure this is unmarked. All of this is unmarked for planting. And then, I guess, because we're already over here, just put that there, and it gives us another way to get over into this area. Anyway, it's day 4 now. Man, what a mess. It's day 4 of this this temperate cycle. And this is actually complete. Alright, so that's good. You know, we have some sort of a base of operations here, but I can't get any further whatever direction this is supposed to be, because there's not a good path without me annihilating a bunch of trees. All that being said, I do think it's a smart idea for us to have a zipline going all the way around the outside. Which, yeah, you know what? Means I honestly should just do this. I'm gonna let them do what they can do. Come through here, figure out a way to get down to this area. And then, because I do still need to get over to, that's the blockage. This is the source. Water seep. And I would like to bad tide proof this and then put it into the main area. And then get into this corner. What is... Okay, that's just a notch. Well, that's another thing for them to take a look at. I'm really hoping we get a drought so I can actually come in here and finish this tunnel. But it is what it is. This also likes to surge flood, and I still haven't quite figured out how to stop that. I don't really know that I can, to be perfectly honest with you. Because it just kind of comes in here. So that makes me feel like maybe instead of having this just be an overtopping levee, dam, floodgate, whatever this thing's called situation, I need to just have a flow valve, throttling valve, whatever it's called, and limit the amount that gets down to here. Because anytime you have multiple sets of floodgates in the same, you know, stream, you're going to end up with problems. It's just a matter of, well, how are you going to solve it? If you don't know, then you don't know. Alright, I need these trees cut down, because I need wood. Thank you very much, Lag, for not letting me actually do this. And I do have extra beavers, so I suppose I will get those turned on there. And get these marked for cutting. And then maybe we turn this into a tree farm or something. But this, where were we? Aha! Yeah, see, this right here is where we're getting all of our pine resin, so we can make these treated planks. And we have a big storage just for treated planks. I can get rid of that safely, that's fine. We have opportunities all over the map to do stuff. We just haven't really managed to figure it out yet. And that is... Okay, they're not going to get to that because that's not a priority right now, but... We do need to prepare as best as we can. Because I think if I'm going to be putting in another zipline pylon, it has to be in range. And for that to be, you know, in the correct amount of range here, I don't want it to be lower. I don't necessarily want it to be coming this far out toward the outside either. It's also not going to let me do that because of tree clearance. No, I did see a comment where someone said you can put it up on a platform that might help. And it seems like it will. So, we'll see. We're just going to have to kind of, you know, figure it out as we go. Now, this is... Oh, they haven't... Oh, they can't... Why isn't this working? Okay, well, all I had to do was manually open the gate, and then they can come in here and build this. That's another one of those how in the world did you survive to be this old kind of situations. But we need to have a zipline station somewhere over here that's going to take us into that corner. Because I think it's honestly going to be faster for us to do it this way versus trying to build around that way. And then maybe we also want to do a, you know, a diagonal all the way across, corner to corner, around the outside, etc. So I'm just going to put a zipline station there. We have a path that goes up to here. I really think I need to be going on this side, but it might actually be easier to just continue across here. I can't walk through there, so... I don't think it's going to be any worse of an idea to just come over this side and just, you know, just deal with it. Now, I can have something underwater, or I can choose to spend a lot of resources on suspension bridges, which I have the science for, so if I did... Oh, see, that doesn't even reach. Okay, well... Yeah, I really don't love that. Let's just make this comparatively less stupid and find our way, I guess. If I'm gonna come all the way over here, maybe I should come out this way instead of trying to utilize that old thing. Let's do that. Let's make a turn here. I guess just go to this side. Remember that, unlike the tubeways, we have to build to the location first with the zip lines and then build the zip line. That's always how that works. I catch myself forgetting that all the time. So there is, unfortunately, a little bit of navigation, construction, etc. that we have to take care of first. There's also a mine location here. Bringing this up to about here is going to get us reasonably close. See, these they're considerably more expensive than the pylons, but the stations could also be really useful to have them in various locations like this. That's not in range. So that, to me, says this is already too far. If we know we're going to go this way toward the corner, then I probably should just try to, you know, directly to the corner like this. I think it's an issue of height, too. No? Okay, well that actually seems like it would work okay right there, yeah. That's compatible height, so I guess we'll live with that. Just make sure I have a path that's close enough they can actually build it. And then from there to there, I do think we're going to want to have a zipline station somewhere over here. So that's not in range. It's probably barely out of range. See, that's... Okay, that's in range, but that's not. Is that a tree thing, probably? Okay, that... Well, there's a tree in front of it. You know, I don't love that. Where am I going to get... Because I don't want that to be out of range either, so that's not... Okay, let's check the distance here. Okay, so that is because trees are in the way. Well, since we know now that that is a problem, I will absolutely forget what tile that's supposed to be on. That's why I put that other thing there. Thank you, lag. Now, if I do this... Come on, man, really? Alright, this game hates me now. Okay, so that's 30 meters. That's the best I can do. That has to be that way. So I need to avoid these two trees. That is a little bit of an annoying thing. Now I could just put this here. I know that's not really a great, exciting distance to go. It's only 20 meters, but that's probably better. Maybe? Remember, this is an accessibility thing, not a perfect, ultimate, amazing, whatever adjectives you want to stick on this. Yes, I know we do not have enough wood to build this. It is okay. We're going to solve that problem later. I just want to get this out here before my brain decides it no longer wants to think about any of this. So, yeah, I need to get up this way, and then I also need to get over here, which tells me there's so many trees down here, I probably can't have any hope of building there. At least not early on, so I need to try and get around. Just get this in some location that's somewhat accessible. We will be cutting all of these trees down, don't you worry. But again, we have to get there first. So, we'll just do all this. Yeah, I just, I don't want to have these guys going too far away from these, what do you call them, but sometimes that is, that's just the way it goes. This one here should be able to handle most of that. And then that's not really attached to anything there. This will be fine probably here. If I had a place to put a staircase, I would do so. But there is quite literally not a single tile, except for at the very end here, for me to put a staircase down. And that would not even reach that way in the slightest. So instead, if I do... yeah, right there will be fine. And then to get up here, to fix this water source, we're going to have to come up. Again, I have to be very careful about what I cut off. I probably also don't need to be having this on triple speed because I'm wasting a lot of time doing this. I need to take these trees down. And then these up here don't necessarily all need to be removed, but we're going to want to at some point anyway, and I do want this to go all the way to the edge of the map. But I can't really build much else up here until the trees are gone. So, you know, that's going to be a whole thing. This is also a scenario where it would make sense because of all the different destinations we have to go to put in a secondary zipline station here that could then go to different places. So, for example, this one probably could go here, and then this one here could go in a V shape here and here, if it feels like that makes sense. So that is what my that's what my thought process is looking like with this, folks. Looks like the trees are going to be in the way, but they won't always be in the way. Oh no, that's not going to be an issue of trees in the way. That's going to be an issue of zipline in the way. Zipline in the way of zipline. So we solve that problem by moving that up there. They don't have to be directly adjacent to each other, and they don't even have to stay here. They just have to exist at some point. So is this an issue of trees in the way? It probably is, but we're not going to have this built in the next cycle anyway, so I don't think we need to worry about it. Okay, we're cutting trees down here. That's fine. That was our intention the entire time. Yep, see, that's... it's kind of a long trip on the zipline anyway. I kind of want to cut across here, but again, you have to be able to get there, and it would not be any faster for us to do that versus just waiting. Alright, this absolute crime against humanity, what have I done about getting... okay, we're waiting on planks. Well, I've got 2 of these, which, you know, for normal operation is probably fine. But I did tell them to build a whole bunch of stuff for not really that many good reasons. Oh, we also have this. We probably should put in the giant pump. That would help us save a little bit of labor. Let's do that, because even if you don't fully staff this, this is still a lot more efficient. It has 3 beavers working, and every hour you get 15 water, assuming it's fully staffed. But if you only have 1 beaver working that, then, you know, theoretically, you get 1/3 of the output, which would still be every hour 5 pieces of water. because that's how you measure water, is pieces. Versus one beaver working here, you get one. So we have tons and tons and tons of water, and we are in a situation right now where it's not that big of a deal if we get rid of that and put in a single pump right here. Now, should I rotate this 90 degrees so this entrance lines up? Maybe. But I'm going to choose not to do that. Let's get these pieces picked up. And then by the time this gets built, I will also, you know, tell them to build this faster. I just want to make sure they get those pieces that were in the way. And that should, in theory, help us out considerably. I'm going to put this back to, yeah, just one beaver, which again, it's going to be a lot faster. And let's see, this is fine. How much of this do I still have marked that hasn't been cut? Not a lot. And again, we're going to be in a situation to make this look a whole lot better. Oh, good, we have a drought coming up. So there's even more opportunity for us to do stuff. Okay, now how am I going to get a beaver down here to get these trees? Well, it seems like the only real option we have here, unfortunately, is using explosions to do the work for us and make a space for a stairway. Okay, they're still not on that. I shouldn't even bother checking this yet. That's not happening. But yeah, drought's going to give us a good opportunity to get here. I know we've got planks here. Those need to be removed. So what I will do is set those to empty. Please note they cannot get here. That is, you know, it's by design. And I actually can't fit one of these anywhere but here. I'm just going to make that a plank storage, and then they will, they'll get to that in due time. For now, though, I think I can K4 kaboom this. And then I'll just put a staircase down here. These guys, actually, get rid of that. And then I get another beaver back. I'll just put this here. Plenty of wood. They just, you know, they just have to get to it. So that's a thing. How are we looking over here? Okay, this is operating. Still a huge improvement. Just the one beaver in there. We do need to increase population, but I'd like not to make this just a ramshackle garbage town. I'd like to have something that looks kind of nice, which I don't currently have any ideas for, so I'm not going to worry about it at this moment in time. Yeah, see, I decided I really couldn't do much more about that. This, getting over here, is going to require the beavers come across this way. So I actually do need to have that, oh come on, to have that there. So that will be that'll be a whole thing. Let's get up here, up here, up here. Come over to this. And here, that is on that side, so, well, if it's not a bad tide, we could, you know, maybe against my better judgment, but we could come up here this way. And then I guess, yeah, because I'm going to want that to go out that side. I don't want to come up through that side. Do I even want to mess with that, or do I want to go... Yeah. I should not build that there. That should be a spiral. Just need to make sure this gets all connected. Even if it is ugly, that's fine. We just need this to actually connect, and that did not. Now, I'm expecting them to be able to do this during this upcoming drought. No, I would be a fool to assume that. But we can still give them the provisions to get that taken care of and see exactly what the beavers are made of in that regard. Now, I've got this zipline station here. If I can get the trees to cooperate, I could actually... Look how fast that happened. I could actually maybe... Yeah, see, here we go again with these trees being a problem. How far is this? 29 meters. Okay, we're just gonna... We're gonna move this. One more here. Pre-connect. And then from here to the very top here, I'm gonna take this off at triple speed because this is just dumb at this point. This is going to... Well, if the trees weren't in the way, then I could absolutely put a station up here. But again, the trees are kind of in the way. So, I know this might not make sense, but I think this is going to be the fastest way for us to accomplish this. Just to have something. So now that's... Well, I would say it's looking good, but it's objectively kind of not. They finished? Because I have not... Oh, because the stairs aren't done. Okay, planks are an issue, but remember, we have the ability to go down here again. So I will make that also a super priority. Planks can get brought in here, then we suddenly magically have 86 planks, which means we suddenly have the ability to come in here with all of our explosives in our extract, which we do have. Get this set up to be a triple fully. That's a double already. Yeah, we'll just get this whole thing rocking and rolling here. That's going to get a substantial improvement in drainage all the way out here. And then we can probably bring this in with a single. Turn this into a tunnel, turn that into a tunnel. And then just kind of, you know, channel this in. Wrap this around. These platforms currently don't need to stay there, which means I can have this come in here. And that is probably going to be about all we really need to do. But since there's scrap metal here, it'd be a shame not to use it. But I think that's asking way too much of these beavers during a drought. So, yes, I am going to get these things all prioritized because we only have 6 days. We're working on this, and I guess... See, these guys are sitting here. I'm going to time-lapse this, because this is a very important thing that we need to get done, and I need to probably just focus on doing it instead of trying to explain what's happening. So I'm going to let them take care of this with the prioritized job stuff, and hopefully they can get that done by the end of the drought, and we can get back to figuring out how in the world we're going to get to those other water sources over there. Okay, so... they're just about finished putting the dynamite in. We're not going to have bad water through here for at least half a day, so I think they can manage to get this last piece done. Then we will evacuate the beavers, and we will set this dynamite off, but I do need this last piece put in. Which, okay, we got a little bit of time. Oh, it actually looks like it's done. Okay, well, let's hit pause. Let's completely remove access to this path. Let's go down to this level. And this is going to be 3 deep all the way to here. And then... Yeah, that's going to be fine. 3 deep all the way to here, and then 1 deep, encompassing this and this. I think that is going to be okay. So, I'm going to K-for-kaboom that. And then we'll just have this thing all go off. Excruciatingly slowly. Right, come on, sound. Don't you love that on normal mode? Normal speed, that is. Alright, so it probably won't get rid of all of the bad water ever, but it's going to help, and that's what matters. Okay, this being empty is fine, because this was supposed to not be in this exact spot. I thought I was going to have to move it to put some other storage in, and I probably should. I remember this is for regular treated planks. Or regular treated planks. This is for treated planks. This would be a good location to put planks. And I know we don't exactly have enough planks to put 1,000 in here, but we will, as our capabilities improve. Just have to allow for all of the time that it's going to take. That's not quite finished. That's fine there. This guy can reach all that. All right. Did we make any progress? Absolutely not. Over here. Okay. Well, this is still, you know, not poisoned over here, so I guess that's fine. Need these guys to do something here, but I think we have a little bit of a lack of builders available. Which, you know, part of that is by design of having these deprioritized, and we didn't have enough for everybody everywhere else. And part of that's just because, honestly, I haven't really kept up very well with population stuff. So, I know I put some more lodges in here. I was trying to avoid putting a bunch of these smaller lodges in. But honestly, I'm kind of just gonna put a couple more in here and then let them grow to fill out. We don't need a ton more beavers. It would be nice to have some more, but it's fine. Also 200 logs for the farmer monument might actually do a decent bit of good for us here. It's not going to be everybody in range, but it would not be a bad idea for us to put one of these over here. Putting in this one makes all those in place, and there's just a few on this side it wouldn't get. It's fine. I'm gonna put that there. It's gonna increase our well-being enough for this to maybe be worth doing. I got 700 beavers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I have 7, or did I not? I do have 7 beds. Well, wouldn't you know it? How about that? Let's just make sure this is continuing to some degree. I kind of don't want them to go over here right now. I do need, unfortunately, for these stairs to be maybe not the priority, but they need to be a priority. So I suppose the next best things I could do is get some amount of access achieved. Probably up here would be the most important one. But yeah, that's fine. It is what it is. Let's preset these to all be cut down because obviously. And I made some sort of comment earlier about this also being cut down. I know I don't have access to everything yet, but I have ideas. I do want that to be a viable thing they can do. Obviously, the lumberjack flag cannot be flooded, or it's not going to do anything. So I can put 2 of those in there, make sure that is connected to a pathway. This eventually will also be connected to a pathway. And folks, I think it is, once again, time-lapse time. So we can attempt to get something else actually, you know, put in this video that's an accomplishment, not just me trying to figure things out. So we're going to let them do what they have to do. And, you know, get the process underway. Probably at some point going to need to build some more industrial capacity. But I still think for right now, it's probably okay. Not great. But I don't want to explode population too much and then have to, you know, confront the crisis of, well, you don't have enough food or water for these guys and it's been creeping up on you because you've been doing all this other stuff. No. We're just going to play it safe and sane. We're mostly sane. And just go about our lives. And we'll see what these guys have gotten up to by the next time I have to come out of this. So while they're continuing to do this construction extremely slowly, probably because we don't have enough planks, I did want to take the time to point out that it's going to probably still be at least another episode or 2 before all of these sources on this side can be fully completed. But once they are, that's really going to open up what we can do with the rest of the map since, well, We're not going to have to worry about any beavers getting poisoned over here. And we can do basically anything. So let me know if you have any specific ideas. I did see some people say they want to see a huge colony with a whole bunch of beavers spanning the whole map. Quote unquote, because this is on easy mode. This is not easy mode. I've never played on easy mode. This is normal. I just want to make sure we make that distinction. This is not easy mode. This is just not hard mode. But just let me know what you want to see. And I will try to see if we can incorporate any of those things. But they should be just about finished with what I have queued up right now, so let's check in on what they're doing. Alright, so that took way longer than I thought. Tremendously long time. But we have complete zipline connection from here all the way to here. And that means we can finally do diversion here without waiting 800 billion years. So what is going to probably make the most sense for us to have this just go straight off the side of the map would be to have this gone, maybe not quite around the corner, so maybe go one back and then come down here. I'm going to have this be double, and then that one would want to go, actually go all the way down here. That would need to be a triple. So perhaps that shouldn't be, Well, we'll get it sorted out. I probably will just make this one a triple as well. But the idea here, of course, being making it impossible for this to flood in a weird and strange way. So if I put a floodgate right here, which will of course be automated to Gary the Gatekeeper, and when Gary is off, it's down. When Gary is on, then it is up. Do the same kind of thing on the backside here, and move on with our lives. Now, I know we're very, very low on planks because somebody did not build any more than 2 lumber mills, and in addition to that, somebody left the woodwork shop on, and as a result, now has 600 treated planks in storage and another 200 somewhere else. So for right now, we're going to hit pause on the woodwork shop. We're going to put the incredible power of 2 lumber mills to work for us again, and continue getting this one at the very least to divert it, because that's going to be a nice accomplishment. These will take a little bit more time, although this actually isn't that far from this zipline station. The challenge is this guy up here, since we do still have to be able to get into this area. But we're honestly not as far away as you might think. We just need to be able to have a path through here. And that is one of those things we will eventually get to, just as soon as the lumberjack working over here can take care of all that. But fortunately, now that we have a few extra beavers in place, just pop in a couple more lumberjack flags, let them do what they got to do, and make sure that we are going to be in a decent spot. Now, I am going to unmark everything on this side that I don't absolutely need. Then I'm going to make sure that this is all the way to the very edge of the map. I know we can't build it yet, but if I don't have it taken care of before everything is ready to go, then, well, it might as well not be taken care of at all. So they're going to get to that. I know the zipline station here is maybe a little bit of a frustrating thing since I have nowhere else for it to go. And we have a lot of logs that aren't really cut here. And I can definitely mark all of these, or a good bit of them. It's all just about, you know, getting the beavers to do stuff, even if they don't necessarily want to. Very, very, very long process, but I'm glad that is mostly taken care of. Let's put this on triple speed again. Those of you who really don't like how the pathing is set up in this one, I am sorry, but it is probably never going to be as good as you would like it to be. That's just not feasible. While also, you know, trying to take care of other stuff. I think I might as well go ahead and get rid of that lumberjack flag. I know we've got other trees here, but I can send those guys somewhere else. This guy's taking care of that stuff just fine. That being paused is fine. This is okay here. Which, by the way, guess what works perfectly well? I am quite pleased with that for right now. Obviously, during a bad tide, this maybe is going to be super not ideal. But we're looking okay. And, I still hate this. But it does work, and we have a tremendous amount of stuff, with the exception of the maple pastries, taken care of. And that seems to be limited by logs and wheat flour at this point in time. I think that is probably just an issue of this beaver having to run around and refill everything. So maybe it's okay. Maybe this just hasn't caught up quite as much because I built that last. We'll see. I did, during the time-lapse, get 3 beavers in here. That seems to have been perfectly fine. I would build another large tank, but I think I need my planks for the diversions. And it looks like this is actually getting pretty close. So, I'm going to K for Kaboom this. Oh, you absolute fool! Oh, yeah, I'm going to walk in front of the dynamite that's going... You absolute idiot. Alright, well, I'm not going to feel bad for that. Because there's no reason for that beaver to be there. And then this floodgate can get automated to Gary the Gatekeeper with the reverse. Well, there goes that perfect run of not killing a beaver. It is what it is. Just need to get them to come in here and take care of that, and we'll be in business. Do I have planks? I guess I do. Yeah, it'll be all right eventually. We're looking over here. Yeah, they're still cutting trees down. That's barely in range. I guess that's fine. I need to, since I went through all the trouble of building this, I do need to get this expanded out here, and I guess I really don't need to have another one of these zip lines over here. So maybe this one is just a complete waste of time. I just deal with it. Honestly, that's probably all right. So that's 93 tiles away. The stairs that are closer are 105. Don't you love it? Don't you love it when this happens? 116, 111. So I guess this is technically... These stairs might be the midpoint between those two. Well, you know, aside from the extreme beaver death that happened over here, it seems that this is completely functional. Once this floodgate is put in place, then we'll have all the clean water coming through this way. This one's already done, I guess. We're just waiting on 5 planks, which I don't know why they're walking up here instead of taking the zip line. Surely the zip line's faster. It has to be. There's no possible way. It's faster to walk this path than to take the zip line. That's driving me nuts. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that one, folks. Maybe it's just because the path wasn't connected? I don't know. Oh, they'll take it back. Alright, so we got a drought in 3 days. That's, alright, that's not a great thing to see after doing all this to get this diverted, but... That one's done! Yay! This one's, yeah, it's in progress. This recording is already an hour and a half long, and I cannot imagine it's going to be that great of an episode. So I guess we'll go ahead and end here. I appreciate you guys sticking with it. I know this has not really been exactly what everybody's wanted, but it is a valuable educational experience. And now that we've, you know, kind of beaten the whole challenge of the map, I guess we could just kind of do whatever we want. So again, like I said earlier, let me know what you think. What would you like to see? Is this series basically done for you? You want me to just stop it and move on? Do something else? Let me know. But I do always want to acknowledge at the end of these episodes the people who make this channel possible, so we don't have to have sponsors or game the algorithm or do the brain rot edits or whatever. Which, if it comes to that, I'm just done. I'm not doing those. that'll be the last time I'm making videos on YouTube, if that's what it takes to survive. But I am grateful for those of you who believe in what we do, and the authentic honesty in good times and in bad. And genuinely could not do it without your support. So thank you very much. I appreciate you, and whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.